Greetings, everybody. Tom Matuska here from the Matuska Taxidermy Supply Company, Thursday afternoon live, along with Brett Wingfield. And it's been a couple weeks, and for you, it's been a long time.
A month or two.
Brett was in Utah hunting antelope, successful antelope hunt. And last week, I was in northern Wisconsin fishing with Mark and Madden, son and grandson. And so we're ready to work now.
We have to go to work?
I know. Brett sat down today and he said, boy, it's been a while since we have done this. You know, we have to get the lights and the camera and camera
it's kind
lady.
Of a big production.
I know it is. So anyway, we're back. And the last few weeks we were working on the Goldeneye project. And we mounted these two, Brett mounted these two nice Goldeneyes. And we made a rock. And we're going to do a little snow scene for them. The customer picked out what he wanted and sent us a picture, and so we're duplicating that. And I think Mandy and I, 2 weeks ago, showed you how to make icicles, the beginning of making icicles. And just to recap that a little bit, we took clay. This is oil-based clay. You can get it online or from any of the art stores, Dick Blick or Hobby Lobby, any of those type of places, and heated it up and rolled it out into what I thought would simulate an icicle if it were clear. And some people, I've made them out of carrots before. Carrots make kind of interesting, get all the little roots out of them and all the dirt out of them, and a carrot will make a pretty decent icicle also. And there's other, I mean, don't be afraid to go through the grocery store and pick out things that you can duplicate. I think it was, the man's name was Bill Munns that did he do the snow monkeys and all that stuff for the World Show and different primates. And he did a lot of impression pads. And one thing that he mentioned was a melon that worked good for skin texture. And when you're working with rubbers and latexes and impression pads, don't be afraid to go through the grocery store, because there are some melons that have some fabulous dinosaur textures and things like that. But anyway, so the carrot has worked good in the past. These were made out of clay. And I just put what we did was put one of those little upholstery pins in the top and suspended them with little pieces of torn in half stir sticks and just suspended them down in there so that they don't hit, oh, that one's bottoming out, so they don't hit the bottom of the cup or the sides. And he's just swinging in there. And you can put as many in there as you can. It does take, you know, kind of like a pound of rubber in there. So you want to get as many icicles out of it as you can. That seems like a lot. I don't know what a pound of rubber is. Depends on where you get it and what kind you use. But it's not inexpensive. But you can use it over and over and over and over. And you can make hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of icicles out of it. Water splashes, you can make water splashes. We make rocks, we make driftwood, we make all kinds of different things out of that silicone rubber. So once you start playing with it, ideas will pop into your head and you'll be able to make all kinds of different things. So when we left you last time, we had a cup full of claycicles and we mixed up the rubber. We degassed it in the vacuum chamber.
You did?
Yes, we did.
Wow. Fancy.
And we poured it into the cup, and we let that all sit in there and harden overnight. The rubber that we use and that we carry in the supply company is not a fast-setting rubber. It's very thin. It has a very thin viscosity, and bubbles tend to float to the top. So even if we didn't degas it, if you don't have a degassing chamber at home or a vacuum chamber, the bubbles typically will float up and you won't have any problems. Some of the real thicker rubbers and the platinum cures that we talked about a couple weeks ago, those rubbers are thick and the bubbles get encased in there, and you might have a big bubble on the side of your icicle, which would look not natural. So when you're buying silicone rubber and you don't have a vacuum chamber to suck the gas out, make sure that you get something nice and thin that and they will advertise it as such. They will say it needs to be degassed or it doesn't. But once you get some and start playing with those products, you'll just have all kinds of ideas. And
All kinds of ideas.
I probably maybe shouldn't even say anything. New in the supply company this year will be molding kits. And I think we've got a couple different molding kits. And I mean, I think it's got the clay, I think it's got the rubber, it's got the catalyst, it's got
it's got a casting plastic.
casting. Was that my?
I think that was your glue gun.
It's got a casting plastic, and you can design or mold your own products, and it's got detailed directions. And I think there's a couple different kits, maybe a deluxe one and a smaller one.
That's gonna be a fun kit.
Man, for Christmas for the kids, man, my kids would have gone crazy over something like that to
Make
have.
a mold of a Matchbox cart.
Yeah, really fun.
Anything else?
Okay, so when we left you, we filled up the cup with silicone rubber, and I let that set, I don't know, until a few days ago. Now, you got to get that rubber, or you got to get that clay out of that silicone. And this clay is very soft stuff, and it will break like that. If you break it, which I've done before, and it's down in your mold, it's really difficult to get the clay out, and you may spend the rest of your life trying to get all the little clay out of there. What I discovered a long time ago, through sheer genius really, is to put the whole mold in the freezer. If you put the mold in the freezer, the rubber will stay nice and rubber, but these little carrots are nice and hard, and they will pull right out.
Are you sure?
Mm-hmm. Kind of like we used to, remember we used to take clay and put it down raccoon toes?
Yeah.
And
freeze
you
the clay.
can't get it down raccoon toes because they're too thin and it's too soft, and you mush it. But if you take those little clay tubes, put them in the freezer, they get hard as a rock, dip them in a little glue, and you slide them right down in.
That's fancy.
Works, huh? All right, I'm going to, I didn't bring these out too quickly because I didn't want them to thaw while we were talking and then not be able to get them out on camera because we want this to turn out. So I'm gonna run to the freezer and I'm gonna grab the mold that Mandy and I made, and I'll be right back.
Perfect.
You just keep right on talking.
What am I going to talk about?
Well, we have James Hibbert, who is watching from Porter, Maine, and Frank Fulmer, who is watching from Streetsboro, Ohio.
Wow.
So let us know that you're watching. Say hey. Let us know where you're watching from.
Hi, James. Hi, Frank. Yeah. Very cool.
Got
So,
Sean from school. Watching.
Sean from school. Big Sean?
Yeah.
Hi, Sean.
Sorry, Sean. I didn't know.
Well, looks like that was pretty close. You didn't have to go to the big freezer.
Was it a hard question or easy one?
No, she had just gotten through all the people that are watching. Both of them.
I noticed the other day I was perusing the internet, and on Taxidermy 101, somebody said, yeah, Matuskas have a good video on that YouTube video, but they skip a lot of steps or they jump to another thing. We want to reiterate, this is not to teach you how to do taxidermy. It's to show you some techniques, and that a seasoned taxidermist can say, oh, I never thought of that, and do different ideas on their own. We are not
That's a
a
good point.
training facility for this program. So, so we do jump around a lot. Okay, I started taking some of these out before, and these are very, very hard. And if you can't get them out, just a little compressed air works real good, and you can stick it down here, and they'll come right out like that. So I got the whole claycicle out. And if you do bust one off in there, it's not ruined, but it's nicest if you can get it out. So take something soft like the back of a paintbrush, not a sharp wire or anything like that, and try to get as much clay out as you can. Now, occasionally, when when you make your icicle and you stick it down in there, they get bent or something like that. Once we make the real icicle,
sure.
you can heat them up with a hairdryer or heat gun. You can
Yep.
straighten them out or bend them or anything you want. So now I have a mold that will make several clear icicles like this, and you can use this over and over and over and over. You could make a cave. You could color your stuff and make stalactites and stalagmites.
Or unicorn horns.
Unicorn horns. So do you want to show them what we do with this
Sure.
next?
Yeah.
And this, you can use this. This will last for years.
Did you talk to him about the library life of platinums and that kind of stuff?
Little bit. Go ahead and touch on it if you want.
No, that's advanced stuff. I don't know about that stuff. This is a tin cure rubber, and so when we make lots and lots and lots of parts out of them downstairs, they do start to break down a little bit. How many hundred do you think they could get out of here? A lot of hundred.
Yeah.
But if they wanted to make one forever that they use 25 years from now, maybe
Platinum
platinum.
cure.
Yeah. But that's usually harder, huh?
Platinum is not a user-friendly product. It's best to start out with the inexpensive tin cure silicone rubbers. Get your training done on that, and then graduate up. I mean, we use silicone rubbers all the time, and about a year ago we had a disaster with a
we
platinum
did.
cure. It got
With
contaminated.
10 pounds of it.
Yeah. 10 pounds is a lot of money, a platinum cure rubber.
It was. So now, do they have to always use a release? We're going to spray a release in it. When would you or wouldn't you use a release?
I feel the icicles seem to come out really well without. I feel better using it. Now, if you're making wood, if you were going to mold over wood or something like that, I think the release soaks in and you don't get much value out of it.
Oh, sure.
The manufacturers of the rubbers will always say silicone rubber comes off of anything, but the cast oftentimes does not come out of silicone rubber. Right. So a release is kind of handy.
Now, if they were going to paint it, would you still use a release?
Paint usually chips off. So you can use, there's different talcum powders and things like that. There's different aerosols that are paintable or wash them.
That's what I was going to ask. Could they wash their parts? And this is Isocoat, and we use this for an awful lot of the kind of our general purpose mold release in the shop. What's the best way to get this off if we use it?
Soap and water. It usually doesn't have, don't use a solvent because the solvent will eat your clear polyester scenery resin, but any kind of water product or something I think would be safe.
So we're just going to spray a release, just an aerosol release in each one.
Now, how do you know you got it way down there?
I don't know if I did.
How do you know if you didn't get too much down there?
What if I got too much?
You better get some
That could be a
out.
problem.
We'll take the air compressor, and this is going to spray the release all around in there and remove any excess. And dry it.
And make cool noises.
And I had a whole, I mean, you had a bunch up on the top here, and just by spraying that, it's gone. And you can feel, it's real slippery.
Yep. So it's kind of like, you've described it before as a liquid wax.
That is, it's a liquid wax.
Now what?
Some of them are silicone, some of them are different formulations. So anytime you get a new mold release, always try it on something before you, I mean, you could do something like that on a fiberglass fish reproduction, paint the whole thing, and the paint chips right off. So practice with anything if you get a new mold release.
I think I'm being asked to fix my microphone.
See, that's why they call them lapel mics, because you're supposed to wear a lapel, and we don't have lapels. Hey, nice t-shirt.
Isn't it? It's a new one.
It's a new one.
Are we excited about it?
We're excited about it. They're flying off the shelf.
We just got them.
They
It's
just
pretty
came in?
exciting.
What?
Our t-shirts.
Oh, your t-shirts, yes. The product's flying
We don't have the T-shirts, though, do we? Are these special, or do
No,
we?
these
Are
are
there
special
lots of
just
them?
Special just for us.
Yeah.
Because we're exclusive with them. But
Pretty cool.
the Velvelock antler, velvet antler preservative is exclusive with us, but it is a product that's flying off the shelf. And for those that haven't used it, they're saying just spray on. It is absolutely, sounds too good to be true, but we have had
We've had a lot of people
so
calling in
many people
saying
much
how
they
good it
love
works.
We
You know,
have.
Now you'll get one that says, oh, it didn't work, but what do you say for that? There's actually a process and you need to follow the directions, but heat is the catalyst to this product. So if you have sunlight and it's nice out, you're gonna spray really good and you're gonna put it outside with the sun. If you don't have that, you're gonna turn your shop up to about 75, 80 degrees. Leave it, I know,
I
I know, but come in and it's gonna be, you won't believe it, but you do wanna make sure one 12-ounce bottle will do a white-tailed deer. Or a mule deer, you're gonna want mule deer, elk, and caribou, you're gonna go up to 48 ounces, which is 4 bottles. So let's just say we sell it in the gallon as well, you technically could get 10 and a half white-tailed deer out of a gallon. The price looks a little scary, but you're getting 10 and a half white-tailed done out of that. But make sure you spray good. If your antlers are coming out of the freezer, you want to make sure that you're letting it thaw, which is 7 to 8 hours of thaw time completely, and then it actually works off of moisture. So make sure that velvet and the antlers are super, take a towel and super dry it.
No moisture on them, or it
No
defeats the
moisture at all.
purpose.
So get all the moisture off first, make sure they're completely thawed,
And if we can get a set, we'll do a demonstration for you people, because people are really singing the praises of Velvet Lock from Velvet Technologies.
Yep.
That's pretty
But it's
exciting.
a good product. People can put it in their backpacks, and when they go hunting, and
Don't put it in your bath.
not in your bath.
Don't put it in your bath.
And there's also, we have the Velvet Scrub, which gets your blood out. So that's a good product. We have some pictures we'll start sharing pretty soon here. And then the Velvet Clean, which also just shines up your mounts in your showroom. It's also that product could technically go to your customers when they come in to take care of their mounts on the walls.
And they got great t-shirts.
2 of them. They had 2 of them.
Good product, give it a try.
So we're gonna pour some icicles, and this is
Clear scenery resin. This is clear polyester scenery resin, and it's very similar to fiberglass, like the glass portion of fiberglass, except it's clear. We make, Mandy's little daughter and I we put Fred in it, didn't we? Fred the little turtle.
Yep.
And
of
you could make paperweights and things like that. When I was a kid, I made my mom earrings, and you can get little molds and do all kinds of stuff. So it's a great, great product, and we have made water splashes out of it, all kinds of different things. There's a little learning curve, so don't try to make a big old diorama and start putting your fish in splashes and stuff if you've never done it before, because you have to know how much catalyst to put in. You have to know a little bit about temperature, and just let it set without, you'll think, oh, it's done, and you'll touch it, and there you left a fingerprint. So you just got to be patient and wait. But
Zach wants to know if the Velvelock can be used after you already have a set done, just to protect them.
I don't think it's going to hurt you at all. If it's already finished, the Velvelock takes any moisture out of that horn. It drains it, and you're supposed to, when you apply it, you're supposed to put the skull down, which is different than what I've ever done with other things. Put the skull down. When an animal dies, all the veins and everything dilate. You spray it on, and it draws moisture out, which is the secret to preservation, I guess. It's also got bug proofers and odor inhibitors and things like that. But I don't think there'd be any problem with, you're not going to hurt anything by putting it on afterwards.
I think so. Protect the mount if it's on a mount.
And velvet's a very, very, very funny thing. We have had other, real good velvet preservation methods in the past, and people will call in, and I always say they're dependent on the stage of development. If they're real rubbery and real soft, I don't know, you can try anything you want, and my choice would probably be freeze drying on some of those really early season ones, and they will keep them real nice and bulbous without drying down.
Yep.
And as far as the shelf life, they recommend replacing it every 2 years.
Well, you better shoot something before 2 years, or you'll be sad.
Well, I think we're already done with our velvet season. I think deer I saw a deer without velvet just the other day.
And we haven't got one in.
Oh, we haven't, have we? We can't shoot them here yet, though.
Oh.
I've got, you saw me weigh that out very
Yes.
carefully.
And you've probably got 2 ounces.
2 plus ounces. And we have a chart. Right there. No?
Nope.
Well, I thought it was in the bag.
It's online.
Okay, good.
Well, we'll have to pull it up. And it's not super critical as to the amount of catalyst. You want to make sure that you have enough, but too much is
Too much can turn it yellow. Too much can.
Not
too
enough,
little
it'll take a little bit
will
longer
cause it to set very, very slow.
So the can, how come we're in a can?
Good question. We have done paper cups before, and waxed cups. And a wax cup, when you put, this has got a pretty strong solvent base to it. When you put it in a wax cup, it will dissolve the wax as you're stirring, and your water will come out cloudy. And sometimes for ice scenes, that's perfect. But for water scenes, you'll be disappointed. Yeah. So we go to, it's got to be buble. We have buble.
Who drank that?
And not
Sparkling water.
Sparkling water. Any clean can, but you don't have any wax to come off in your, whether it's whatever kind of a scenery resin you're using. If it doesn't dissolve a plastic cup, plastic's great also, but I would do it in a tin can, in a metal
What about
can.
your rubber mixing cups?
Yeah, I'm afraid they'll make it kind of sticky. You have to wash it really, really good.
Did you find our chart?
No, but I can go get one for you. Craig Robertson says, "Good morning, Tom and Brett from Australia. Congratulations on the speed goat, Brett."
Thank you, Craig. Happy birthday.
Yeah, happy
I
birthday.
think there was an Australian
Brett just told me that
birthday
today.
Just maybe yesterday, I think it was.
Yeah?
I think.
And Craig's from Australia, and he was a student.
Came and
And
visited us for...
He's off and running.
He is. He's doing a ton of stuff. What kind of deer did he just have posted with a customer? Sambar? Or
Sambar.
Rusa? Or something like that. One of those cool critters we don't have out here.
And like Brett said, after you've used this product for a long time, you're going to go to the chart, you're going to say, it'll say 2 drops, 3 drops, or 1 cc. A cc and a millimeter are basically the same thing for our measuring purposes. And you're going to be really careful and really, deliberate on how much you put in. You're going to stir it good and follow directions. After you've used this for several times, you tend not to do that anymore, and you just give it a squirt. And you think, a little more, and another little squirt, stir it up. You'll be fine. It's just getting used to it. Whether you're fiberglassing, we do a lot of fiberglassing on our bases and mold making and things like that. We very, very seldom measure anything out. And you will get to that point too, after a while.
Yeah. We'll show you the right way.
This was like on the shelf by it, but this is
That'll work.
I
That'll
think
work.
there's enough. Yeah.
Okay, and it'll go by ounces. So this one, the one online that Mandy was talking about, actually goes 1 ounce, 2 ounce, 3 ounce, 4 ounce, and it's got a 0.25% mixture, a 0.50, a 1%, and a 2%.
Yeah.
And 2%, we call it a hot mix. It's going to set much faster. It's going to set quicker, not be sticky as long. Yeah. You risk yellowing, and you risk cracking.
And the heat buildup.
And the heat builds up, gets hot. Whereas a 0.25% mix, which is a weak mix, might take 3 days to set up. And people sometimes will call us and say, geez, I mixed this yesterday and my water is still tacky. Patience, just quit touching it. I did a big hippopotamus base one time, and with 2 hippos in it, and we had all water. I mean, I had like 10 gallons of water in this base, and I took it to a great big SCI show, and it wasn't cured entirely, and the whole room smelled like fiberglass. It was the coolest mount we've probably ever done, but it just smelled a little fiberglassy. When I came home, the whole corner of this base had little kid fingerprints, because they go, oh, that's water, and they would touch it, and fingerprints over the whole thing. So then what I had to do was mix more, and it will heal itself. If it ever cracks or fingerprints or gets dirty, clean it off as good as you can, put another 1/8 inch layer over the whole thing. Whoops, you didn't add much weight or anything like that, and it looks brand new again. Yep. And anytime you do water scenes, snow scenes, icicle scenes, they only look nice for as long as you can keep them clean. So dust is not your friend.
Yeah.
And according to this comes with this, and for 1 ounce you're going to put in 10 drops.
Okay, and we figure we've got a couple ounces there in the
Sure.
cup. I've just drawn some up. If you wanted to measure it in cc's or percentage of cc's, we've got it in a syringe here. I'm going to see if I can give it 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. A little more?
Yeah, to grow an inch.
Just a little extra.
Definitely cooking with you.
Just a little extra for a little season.
And incidentally, this is MEKP, which is methyl ethyl ketone peroxide, which sets up clear scenery resin or fiberglass. It is dangerous stuff.
It is.
You should wear glasses, rubber gloves, safety. Yep, safety. I trusted you, so I just looked away. Safety equipment, because it is caustic and it's not good to get on you or absorb through the skin or anything.
Should I mix it up?
Do it.
We ready? So we're just going to mix it, and mix it thoroughly. It's not going to set up very quickly on you. You'll feel a heat reaction before it sets up, so you've got plenty of time. Do mix it thoroughly, because if you don't, if it's not mixed thoroughly, then I'm afraid they'd have some that come out sticky or don't set up at all.
And that's any of the silicone rubber or the casting resins or the clear scenery resin, like you said, mix them thoroughly, because you're all proud of everything you did and you spend a lot of time and money making that mold, and all of a sudden you got half of the icicle stuck down in there and it's goopy. And
my musky baits, I put an epoxy on and was having a little bit of trouble getting the clear to dry nice and pretty and clear, and talked to the manufacturer, and he said mix it for 1 full minute. He said if you just sit and mix the cup, he said it'll probably feel like a minute, and it's probably 15 seconds. Mix it for a full minute and make sure and scrape down the sides, and it made all the difference in the world. And just make sure you scrape down all the way around the sides, because you're going to pour down that side. So you want to make sure that
and there's no catalyst up there.
if there's no catalyst, it's not going to set.
A lot of nice deer being posted on on Facebook.
The
and
youth season
different
is
critters.
open here in Iowa. There's been some big deer taken. Kids are doing well. Matt Welsh, Matt's son got one. Congratulations to him. That was just a couple days ago. It's that time of year.
Side note, our driftwood is all in. So all our driftwood's back in stock as well.
We got to go down there. There's
Pallets
some cool
and
stuff.
pallets and pallets.
And we'll have it for not very long.
Not very long. It goes fast.
It doesn't last long.
You go.
For you?
Right. Pour it right in there.
Pour it in there.
All right. Now, there's some bubbles in here. All these bubbles should float all the way to the top in time. This isn't going to set up very fast. I bent my cup, hopefully, so I can get it poured in there a little better.
There's a bubble.
Oh, I wasn't going to fill them up.
How come?
I was going to work some bubbles out of them. I was going to stick something in there, now it's going to overflow everywhere. Now you still have bubbles trapped down in the very tip of it. So I'm going to take one of these little sticks, and I'm going to try to work any bubbles out all the way down to the tip. Just by poking that down in there, you'll work those bubbles out, and you'll get a nice pointy tip. And don't worry about what lands out here. I will probably put plenty of extra, so I use that as a little pulling piece to get it out. Now don't use a sharp wire because you don't want to put a bunch of holes in the end of your rubber. It's pretty durable stuff, but a sharp wire pin or anything like that could poke into the rubber and give you an appendage on your icicle that you didn't want. Now, you might think, why would I ever make my own icicles? I had a mountain goat scene one time, and I found a place online that sold icicles. And I called, and they said, oh yeah, we can make you all the icicles you want. And they had beautiful, beautiful icicles. And I said, yeah, make me a couple dozen, from 8 inches down. And I got a shoebox with 12 icicles in it for like $180.
Yes, I remember.
You know the
That
story.
was
And
20-some years ago,
my
too.
gosh, yeah, that was 20-some years ago. So a mold like this will come in handy. Somebody's going to walk in and they're going to want a snow scene of some sort, and if you have to buy icicles, it's going to be expensive, and if you happen to be able to pull a mold off of the shelf, you'll be very happy with that.
Awfully nice.
And make different sizes. You can use, you can make little ones, just by chopping these down, but you can also make some great big ones too. Don't be afraid to get a bigger cup or maybe a little thing of PVC that you can make a great big,
Oh yeah,
hang a big carrot in.
PVC would work good.
Okay, now that still got bubbles coming out. That will take really, before you can touch them, for sure overnight. You don't want to really touch that till overnight. Heat is very friendly to resin. It sets up resin. Remember we made fish eyes, a lot of fish eyes with
A
resin.
whole lot of
Our
fish eyes.
oven was busy. Our kitchen smelled like resin. But heat will set this up and make it tack free. So I would probably let this sit overnight. Tomorrow morning I'd come in, put it in the oven on as low as it can be, and 170 our oven goes. Let this get warmed all the way through. When it cools down, you can pull your icicles out.
Why wouldn't they put it in now? Why wait till tomorrow?
You could.
Would you put it in now?
I think you could.
It wouldn't bubble? Boil, bubble?
We'd have to see.
Maybe.
So now we got, that's a clock going around. It's like a cooking show.
We should have cut.
We took it out of the oven.
This has been in the oven.
Yep. It's all cooled down already.
We just took it to the oven right now.
This is the same one as this, only you got to pretend.
And so,
So that's what you're going to end up with.
and this is the mold you made for him last week.
Mandy and I made 2 weeks ago, yep.
And so now we're just going to separate them and see if they come out.
And it
Used a
helps
good
again.
Mold release.
Huh?
You used a good mold release.
Yep. You can use this if you want
Give
to.
a
You
little,
don't need to.
little squirt of air. Oh, you got. Yeah.
See, you're kind of scared because
I am.
I did it, and you don't know if they're going to come out. You're going to look pretty foolish, aren't you?
Well, I want them to come out, and I don't want to break them.
Oh, you can break them.
No, these things are 100 and some. Oh, that was easy. 100 and some bucks
Look at
worth
that.
of icicles. That's
Now, these were made in a tin cup, And I don't know if you can see the clarity difference. You probably can't. This one is pretty milky compared to this. And that's because this was done in a tin cup, metal, you know, aluminum can. That's a nice, pretty one.
That one curved on you.
And if they
can
curve,
heat
all you
that.
have to do is heat them
Yeah,
up
we
and
can heat that
straighten
up
them right
and
out. You need to do it in
like
hot
that one.
water.
I like that one. I bet Mandy made that one.
I'm probably for sure if it's a good one, I did it. Mine also have nail prints in them.
Ooh, that's a really good one. I like that one.
Oh, that was mine.
Oh, wait. Yeah, there's nail prints in that one. That's Mandy's. Pretty fun.
And as you're making them, they're so easy to make. You're just going to keep filling them up and make some more, make some more, make some more. Just wrap them in plastic bag and put them in a box. And
Yeah.
you might as well make. Brett was talking about a library life, and we touched on it a couple weeks ago. But library life means if you set this on the shelf and make more 6 months from now, and make more 6 months after that, you will not get as many as if you just sit down and spend, you know, make them as fast as you can till you get.
While the rubber's fresh.
While the rubber's fresh.
Yeah.
The library life on the tin cure silicone rubber is not as good as it is on the platinum cure. But this will still, you can pull it down a year from now and still make them.
Yeah.
I noticed this has my fingerprints from,
Roll in it.
yes, how do you get rid of that?
Now that's pretty good detail. I think I'd get rid of that when we put them onto here. We'll put them on, and then we're going to take more resin and let it drip off, and it will heal all of
take
your
care of my
fingerprints.
fingerprints.
Yep. So now we're not going to show you today, but we made some little snow that we're going to have. It's just propped into place. And this is made from that right there. And this is, it's kind of like the snow foam that you get at Christmas time, and you can make decorations and things like that. You can take a foam rougher like this, and you can shred it, mix it with silicone rubber, spread it on a piece of wax paper, let it dry, and that makes kind of a really nice rubbery foam that you can put a little hot glue on, and you can tuck it anywhere that you want.
So you do the silicone molding rubber with the catalyst the same as you would? Or
No.
No catalyst?
Silicone, I'm sorry, not molding rubber, that's what I said, silicone caulk, like bathtub caulk.
Got it.
Yep. Out of
I
the tube.
misspoke. But we just kind of tuck it in where we want it, and if I don't like it there, I can just move it until I kind of get the design and the composition the way I want it, and if I think that's where it needs to be, I'll put a little hot glue on and put it in. And that one didn't stay there. But that's kind of a fun way to make snow. And if you don't want to take this and shred it, you will also, you can buy it in already shredded. And winter snow, and this is the same as this, all shredded. It works really good. We've done some big polar bear bases and seal holes and things like that. And we did some really nice ice flows, for lack of a better term, out of this stuff. Slicing it thin and putting it on. Put this resin over there. It will melt it. Then you think, oh no, and you put some more on, and pretty soon it starts looking pretty icy and wintry. Let's see if we can't give them an idea. Can you take one of them and grind it so that it...
Flat spot on the back?
Yeah, put a couple of them up here.
Yeah.
We'll hot glue them on. Whoops, you might have to... Maybe that'll be okay.
That'll work.
You glue them on, and I'm going to get a piece of paper. Pretty good, huh?
Yeah. So would you seal this on top so it doesn't flake off and move it after you're done? You
Ye-
spray something on top of your snowflake?
Yeah, I probably would. I think like a clear gloss would work really well.
We use a lot
Krylon
of
gloss or
Elmsgoon water too. You know, works
Yeah.
good to hold the snow down from the top.
Which dries clear, so you would.
Yeah. Mod Podge, there's gloss Mod Podges, Matt.
Oop.
Boy, that hot glue going down my neck felt good.
That's what I wondered.
Now, another method that we like to use is you take cotton balls, and these are cotton balls right from
Dawn's bathroom.
Dawn's bathroom, not even Walmart.
I didn't want to put a mask on.
So if you're ever in Dawn's bathroom, pick yourself up some cotton balls. Now this resin that we mixed up, it's really, that we poured in here, it's probably not going to set up for another 45 minutes. So you have quite a bit of time to work with it. I'm going to grab a couple tools. Now somehow you have to tie this all together. So right now we have some nice icicles up there, but they look just a little out of place.
Stuck on there. Here, you keep going.
Should I do it?
Yeah. Get out of your way.
Okay, now if you take cotton balls, don't do great big gobs of cotton, just a little bit of cotton ball. I'm going to drop it into here. I'm going to let it get saturated with the resin. And this usually takes a couple applications before it looks really nice. But it's going to look like a nice, wet, slushy icicle. Now this is going to do two things. It's going to blend my icicle to the rock and fasten it on there. It's going to run down. It's going to drip off. And you just keep building. Don't try to do the whole thing at one time. This is a project that'll take a couple days worth of applications. And if you get it too thick and too built up, there's a good chance it will be too big a concentration of resin and it may yellow on you. So I'm going to try to put on a smaller amount. And it'll become one with your icicle. It'll look like it's just part of the icicle. And it'll drip on the rock and you'll go, oh no, I got some on the rock. Let that stuff happen. If it were a melting icicle, that's what you'd have.
Now all of a sudden that looks a lot better. I was kind of worried about them stuck on the edge there. I wondered, do we need to put them underneath?
Sure, we can put them anywhere. And you can put as much of this on as you want. Let's try a little of this stuff. I'm getting real brave.
You are getting brave.
Still got heat?
Me.
Oh yeah.
It's from me.
We'll try a little on here.
Oh, that's beautiful.
It could be with, keep playing with it.
Real to me.
Hot?
No, wasn't
Sticky.
hot, but it's sticky. Now look at that, soaks right into that. Maybe should.
Now
Can you
put a
lower that
little-
down so maybe Kate could get a better shot of that from the top a little bit?
That's scary.
Do you prefer to do your habitat with your animals, like the birds sitting there already so you know where to apply it, or do you take them off and apply it separately?
You want to know where to put it, but the smart thing is to take the bird off.
Yeah, so we don't have icicles dripping off of his bill. Now, could you take a little bit of this and sprinkle it
Yeah, go
in
ahead.
to blend it?
Do that.
Maybe just a little.
Ooh, that looks cold.
It's coming.
And if you want it whiter, I'd let this set up and I'd do exactly what you're doing with more of that. If you want it slushier, I would use more of the resin. Be careful not to build this up too thick too fast, because you're going to be having so much fun. All of a sudden you got a 1/2 inch of resin up here, and what's going to happen is it's going to start building up heat, and it will smoke and burn and turn yellow.
It'll start smoking.
Now, let me caution you, because you're going to have so much fun doing this that you're going to give it to your customer and he'll say, God, it looks beautiful. What do I owe you? And you're going to say, in your mind, you're going to think, that was so much fun. I can't charge him for that. It was so much fun. But really, you just used $75 worth of rubber. You used $30 worth of scenery resin. You spent 4 days doing it, and you don't want to charge him because it was so much fun. It is fun, and it's just kind of a crafty thing, and you can't quit. And pretty soon, you're thinking that you want to do all of this.
That's a perfect spot for one, isn't it? Where the water would drip right down through there, and we'd have a great big, we need some big ones right there. We might need to make more.
All right, we can do that. And then I'll tell you a quick story. Once upon a time, we had a mountain goat, and the mountain goat was on the wall, and the customer wanted icicles on it and water. And that's no problem. It didn't really throw me. And then he said, I want the water running. So it keeps running. And I thought about it and thought about it for a year or two. And finally he keeps saying, where's my mountain goat? And I did it. And I've got a mountain goat coming out on a ledge. And I have all rocks that we make, cast rocks out of real shale. And I had little rivulets. And I went to Hobby Lobby and I got these little pond pumps, and the little rocks would have like a crevice back in here, so the water would run down and it would go down in the crevice where there was a receptacle that you could get to from the back, and it would pump all the way up with aquarium tubing, and these were adjustable, so you could have a lot of water, a little water, and the water would start running down. It'd come running down, just like you said, a little rivulet of water, and then it'd drip, 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 drip down into a crevice. It was a work of art. It was really, really cool. The person had a brand new showroom, a beautiful showroom. He wasn't home, which was, I like that, being able to work in somebody's house without them hovering over your shoulder. And I've got the water running down, and I'm adjusting the pumps and everything. And there was a product called Never Say Die that I had dyed the moss with, because I didn't want the moss to get all dried up and look old. So I soaked all the moss in Never Say Die, which was a real emerald green. Looked really nice. I had it in all the cracks. The water didn't make and I had the whole carpet all covered with plastic too. The water didn't quite make the corner because it was going too fast and it was dripping on my tarp. So I readjusted, built up a little dam so the water could make the corner, and I'm all done. Pretty proud of this whole thing. It's running. I take all the tarps up, and in the middle of his brand new carpet was an emerald green spot about the size of a dime, where it had run through that Never Say Die onto the carpet. So anybody that knows about getting anything out of anything knows cold water. So I scrubbed the whole thing with cold water, and now I have a spot about this big, not quite as green, but green. And you walk into the room and, oh, you point right at it. So then I thought, soap and water. So we did that. Now I've got a spot about this big, paler, but still there. Lacquer thinner. I went to lacquer thinner. I'm ruining this guy's carpet right before my eyes. Anyway, we had to have it professionally cleaned and it
They get it out?
got it out.
Ah, you're lucky.
Got it out. Anyway, that's you can keep playing with this for days and days and days and months, but you'll get better at it. You'll get faster at it. You'll have a lot of success. You like what you're doing and get some ideas. Don't be afraid in the wintertime to go out and take some good pictures of snow
Reference
scenes and
pictures.
icicle scenes and all that sort of thing. And have fun with this. Don't get stressed out when you have to do habitat. And don't do it on this when you have to do habitat. Do it on a little something of your own or something. And remember, we took these birds, and this one, that one slides right off, because remember we did that little peg on it? And with that bird, I can just drop her right down on a piece of styrofoam like that. This guy's never been glued on or anything. I can stick him onto there, and they're out of the way. So now you can work on that without worry about, no matter how careful you are, you're probably going to touch them with some resin on your hands or something like this. So I hope that gives you some ideas on habitat. And I think we'll put a little grass back there maybe.
Yep.
It's the more, I don't know.
Cattails or something.
Yeah, I think the
Slushy.
more elements that you add, if you just had rocks and snow, that's okay. Rocks and snow and ice, a little bit better. Rocks, snow, ice, and a little grass or gravel, a little bit better yet. So the more, I call it elements, the more elements you add, I think the more realistic you get.
Absolutely.
What do you got for us?
Well, we have a giveaway, and this is actually from 2 weeks ago, our part 3 of this live. So the winner of that is Dwight Rhines, and we are giving away our artificial snow with sparkle.
Way to go, Dwight. This is fun
That'll
stuff.
be fun.
For Christmas decorations on your fireplace. You can sprinkle it around, or taxidermy, or whatever you want.
And in order to be in next week's giveaway drawing, like and share this live right now that we're doing part 4. Like and share, and then you have till next Thursday at noon to enter. We are doing 15% off all products that were used in today's live. So to get the code, it's Facebook or FBook15, and that goes till tomorrow night at 11:59.
And they get 15% off?
15% off. So
Nice.
that's the snow, the icicle, the clear scenery resin, stir sticks, all 15%
Very good.
off.
Wow.
And don't forget Velvelock. Give it a
Yes.
try.
Yep.
Great product.
Oh, we have a question from Drew Minnick. He is wondering, where did you get the square tubing to secure the birds and what size?
Oh, there's a supply company that has absolutely everything, and it's the highest quality products you're ever going to find everywhere, anywhere. The Matuska Taxidermy Supply Company. And we have it in what? 3 sizes or 2? 2 maybe?
2, I think, and then we have some big ones that are more for antlers
and things
stuff.
like that.
But for this,
It's a brass sleeve, square sleeve, and then a steel insert. And they fit so perfectly that there's no wiggle to them at all.
and they come together.
Yep.
Yep.
We use them on fish. We use them on birds,
Yep. Yep.
anything
We've
that
done
needs
a
to
lot
come
of-
on and off really easy. And they won't,
Very strong.
we have steel sleeves too that they work really good, but after in any kind of humid conditions, after a few years, they tend to rust, and then they don't
Then
come.
they're stuck.
Detachable antlers and
Yeah.
things like that, they're stuck.
Yeah. These work really well. We've used them for a lot of things.
A lot of
Bigger-
fish. You do it on
bigger
all your
fish.
competition fish, don't you?
I have. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep. I have.
pretty handy. Matuska Taxidermy Supply Company,
Best
your
one out
one-stop
there.
shop.
All right, we will see you guys next Thursday.
Thanks for watching.
Thank you.